Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at...
Pardon the interruption for a very important news update.
This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther, farther, farther. Theme hits loud, then the grips come off. Call out the card, call every payoff. Botches, legends, titles, and heat. Pay-per-view nights, run it back, repeat. They slam, we analyze. Move for move, every feud, every bruise, every pivot move. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. No script, just truth. Every jab breaks through. From the bell to the brawl. Name the show. We want it all. 1, 2, 3. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther.
All right. Hello, everybody. Happy birthday, America. 250. Happy 4th of July from the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. I'm Bobby Meléndez, joined always by the one and only tag team partner here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, Josh Kimmel, the Kimmelnator. What's up, brother?
What up, man? Look at that energy. I like it. Are you hyped for 4th of July? I'll be honest, bottom 3 holiday for me. It's hot, dude. It's freaking hot outside.
It's hot as hell outside.
The sun. Like, no, I'm good. I'm cool not doing 4th of July. Every day is 4th of July in Florida. Every day is hot.
Yeah,
So,
it's bad.
I'm over it.
Bad. It's bad outside.
Anyway, man, I'm excited to talk wrestling, though. WrestleMania 12 was a fun was a show.
Was a show. Yeah.
Was a show. It was better than the last show.
Definitely better than
Right.
WrestleMania 11, for sure. I'll give it that. Yeah.
It didn't perform as well. I believe the buy rates were down again from WrestleMania 11 to 12. I know the attendance was similar, still in a very small. It just tells you where they were at this time in the WWF. And what year was this? 1996? Was it 96? Was this 96?
96 or 97?
Yeah.
96.
My goodness. And it just tells you where they were. And I, a young Josh, wasn't a wrestling fan yet, but I'm getting my feet wet in real life, in real time. So that's funny how where they're at now. WrestleMania 12 is how 18,000 for WrestleMania 12. So anyway, it was a show, a short show, but a long match. This was the match. This was the Shawn Michaels come down with a zipline match. I didn't know until now.
Yes.
So.
There was a lot of those shots in this show, especially with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, that kind of stay with the history of time. You know, the Bret Hart with the glasses on his eye as he watches Shawn come in. That's a close-up shot that's been around forever. Shawn coming down from the rafters. You know, we got a lot of those legendary lifetime shots in this main event, which we're going to talk a lot about. Again, it was an hour long and an hour 10 minutes long or something like that because they had to go extra time. But it was a fun. I love watching these WrestleManias, kind of seeing how the tides turn, kind of seeing the drop off of WrestleMania, drop off of the WWF, and then the rise again as we get closer. We did get our first glimpse of Stone Cold Steve Austin in this WrestleMania, but he's not in that phase right now. He's with Ted DiBiase. Probably get the last glimpse of the Ultimate Warrior taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who we know will eventually become Triple H. Piper versus Goldust. You kind of see where the Attitude Era is coming in there with the kind of this stupid shit stuff that comes through. And, Taker versus Diesel, which, again, the out and the old, but still, that was actually, I got a lot to talk about that match. And of course, the first match which will start off with the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and Vader taking on Ahmed Johnson, the returned Jake Roberts, who obviously is not the same guy that we saw when he took on the Undertaker several years ago, and Yokozuna, who again a year later looks bigger again. You know, it's like it's so you see it's like the out with the old and all this whatnot. But anyway, the stipulation of this match, it was a 6-man tag match, went over for 13 minutes. Stipulation was Jim Cornette was Yokozuna's manager, as we all remember as we watched prior WrestleManias. Something has happened in between that time where now Yokozuna wants to get his hands on Jim Cornette. So the stipulation is if Yokozuna's team wins this contest, he will have an opportunity to get 5 minutes in the ring with Jim Cornette. From how you started us, I'll just say this in regards to this contest, and just to show general, but this contest for sure, it was all right. It was good. Owen Hart, fun to watch. British Bulldog. Vader is so, I'll say this, Vader, they really were selling a job on him, but my God, when you watch him in real time, you're not watching his highlights, you're watching his matches, he's such an athletic big guy. Like, you know, they did Bam Bam Bigelow, Vader was like, there was a spot where Jake Roberts was down, and he looked way too far off from the corner. Like, he didn't look like he was in the right spot. Vader was supposed to do the Vader bomb on top of him. So I'm like, man, he has to roll in, like roll a little closer. Vader did some sort of athletic thing, which would break my back. I mean, he went like this and lifted himself up so high where he actually reached and hit Roberts. I mean, I had to give flowers. Ahmed Johnson, who we'll see a little more of during these WrestleMania runs. He doesn't spend a long time in WWE. He's kind of infamous into WWE, but another guy where you could tell, man, they were really pumping him up, man. They made him look good, and he had a few good spots in that contest, had a great look. He looked like he could be a championship type of guy, but the match was all right. It wasn't great. It was okay. But better start than most WrestleManias. What do you think of this match?
Yeah, it was supposed to be just a one-on-one match between Vader and Yokozuna, but they couldn't do it for certain reasons. Rumors say that it was supposed to be Yoko's weight was a problem, so they couldn't have a singles match versus Vader. So they put a bunch of stars and just made a party match to get everybody else on the card. And also, it makes sense because this was a shorter card because of that hour-long Iron Man match. You have to make room, or you have to make matches like this to get other stars on the show, because 6-man tags like this are needed sometimes. But I'll say this, Bobby, the crowd was into it. Everybody was over. Everybody was into every match, every move that happened. Vader was mega over. Owen Hart. Ahmed Johnson, you said he looked good. He looked weird. He looked out of place to me. But because, you know, you go and you just judge him, right? It's kind of unfair as a wrestling fan if you go into it, you go, oh, that's Ahmed Johnson, the guy that looked really good. But so you just go in there going, what's he doing? Like, what's he doing? Like, why is he doing this? So maybe that's a me thing. But I'll tell you this: it got everyone into it. It got everyone into WrestleMania. It was fast paced. The end of the match, everybody was doing things like a 6-man tag match should be. And then the extra stipulation was Jim Cornette didn't do it. Nothing happened, but you know, we had something. But man, I'm really, really, really interested to hear what you have to talk about with Goldust and Roddy Piper. Like, I'm just curious on your take. Happy 4th, Adrian and everyone else.
Happy 4th of July. Happy American birthday, brother. You know, I was doing Nitro Rewind with my brother Nick yesterday, Josh. You know, the Rhinestone, Jesse Urine, that's his wrestling name. So I got to send you his match. He sent it to me from the Arizona Wrestling. I think I put it on Twitter, but I'm going to send it to you. I think you'll get a kick out of it. But he did the Nitro Rewind with me. He said he's going to do a lot more. He's excited about doing that. He's going to get some guys on here. So I was excited about that. But he said I actually did a very good Macho impersonation. I was like, oh, well, thank you. And I was really hyped up into it. Yeah, thank you. Adrian of the Rainy Day Podcast and Too Raw for SmackDown. I'm not going to lie to you. That song is catchy as hell. I'm not going to lie. I last weekend when it was playing, I kept singing through it, and it did it again today. Great for great content in general, not just the intro. But I kept going, Too Raw for SmackDown. I just love that intro. You guys love wrestling. Go check out Too Raw for SmackDown on the Rainy Day Podcast. Yeah, my brother's is good, man. It was good to see him, and he came and visited me, and I'm excited for him for pursuing his dream in professional wrestling, see where it goes. But I know he has a lot of hype. You know, he has a lot of heart into it. And I mean, character and everything is a lot of fun. You know, it gets me itching. But, you know, of course, stenosis and all this other crap. And then I fell outside the other night, busted my back. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's why I'm not wrestling. But anyway, another story for another day. Now, Roddy Piper taking on Goldust. This was the definition. It's called the Hollywood Backlot Brawl. Went around 16, almost 17 minutes. This is the definition of old school and what WWF is becoming. Hogan and Macho Man, they are in the WCW. McMahon is starting to feel the heat and the pressure. He sees those two down in the WCW. He's competitors with Ted Turner. He's starting to kind of change the tide of what his company's about to try to counter them a little bit. That's where Goldust comes in. I like that they gave like the little beforehand story. I first off, I'm happy that Piper has a match. I'm happy Piper's involved. I'm happy he's not just a stand-in, you know, like he's been in the other two WrestleManias. Now we're getting a contest with him. And it starts off, I mean, like a backlot brawl, right? I mean, there's a bat, it's crazy. It's real. It's raw, you know. Doesn't go long at first. They disappear, and here comes the famous OJ tapes, you know, and you're like, oh, this looks familiar. Does it, Vince? Does it? You know, and they ended up cutting to the Stone Cold match, but we'll get into that in just a minute. But they cut into, and after that, Piper and Goldust get back to the arena. They get to the ring. They're bloody. They're battered, basically. They start going at it. Goldust steals a kiss from Piper. Piper freaks out. The fans kind of freak out, you know. So he got guys in the front of the row go, kick his ass. You know, I was laughing. Gold, you know, he starts ripping Goldust's clothes off, his leotard, whatever you want to call it. And there he is wearing lingerie, and the guys in the front row. I was just watching the guys in the front row, and they were going, "What the fuck is that?" You know, what are we watching? And, you know, and then he steals a kiss, but then Roddy Piper gets the win. I'll tell you this. Huge fan of Dustin Rhodes. I like Dustin Rhodes, and the character of Goldust broke a lot of ceilings. You know, for a character. Which that WrestleMania, and I understand why Dusty Rhodes, the report was that Dusty was not happy with that character. He felt like it was, you know, wasn't the best for his son, but his son and him weren't talking at the time. I can understand where that notion comes from. Like, it's right. Like, but you know, shout out for Dustin for doing that, because that made him in wrestling terms, a household. Everybody knows who Goldust is. But this was absolutely for me like hey, this is what wrestling was, and this is where it's going, you know, and. So kind of like, wow, man, but like Piper was awesome. Like Piper was in shape. He was cool. He was going crazy. He was getting the crowd fired up. It's like, how is this guy like, I don't know why WWF didn't even in that stage say, hey, we need to do something with him a lot more than what he's doing, the president of the WWF, because he had that crowd fired up. And he reminded me of Dean Ambrose or John Moxley now as we know him. You know, the fire gets fired up and goes crazy. But yeah, this was a very you know, kind of like type of thing, but it's just the way it's because it's just so it's cringe, you know, so cringe. But I understand that's what Goldust was. So it was a 16-minute match altogether. Felt shorter. Yeah, there's not much to other than what I'm saying about this match.
This is the first indication of the Attitude Era at WrestleMania. This WrestleMania was heavily leaning towards the Attitude Era. Heavily. You had the women, you had Sable, you had Goldust, that character, you have Jerry the King Lawler doing his gimmick. It was heavily Attitude Era-ish, and it's gonna get there soon. So I'm excited to get there. But you're right, man. Like Piper should have been doing something more. Goldust should have been doing. Goldust just came off the Scott Hall Razor Ramon feud, if I'm not mistaken. In this, I was doing my research, and this is when Razor Ramon left for WCW. He asked for his release, or said he's leaving, and they suspended him for a drug test. At this point, that's why he was not at WrestleMania. So, Goldust going from Razor Ramon to, I don't know, some kind of hardcore off match where there was no finish. There was no finish. He just ran off naked with his girl.
Yeah.
But I will say this: it did get in. It made, for better or worse, it made the Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Savio Vega match a TV match, because Piper called in not once but twice during the Stone Cold match, and Vince kept on talking about Piper and the whole situation instead of Steve Austin. So it just made the Steve Austin and Savio Vega match totally meaningless. I did not care whatsoever, because you know why? WWF television told us not to care, because Piper was calling in about their fake race. So it just bugged me. That's all.
Yeah. It was a distraction type of matchup. Again, like I said to my brother yesterday on the Nitro shows, which are only 45 minutes long. I mean, Nitro itself and whatever. But even though there's things you could like, you could watch the old school kind of corny. You could tell, and especially in this type of situation too, where Vince McMahon and the WWF are trying to figure out how to move past what WWF was with the Macho Man and Hogan and those guys to where they were going. It looked like they were trying to figure out as it went along. So that's what that match felt like. I mean, they were like, let's test this out. Okay, we have that stock footage of O.J. Simpson running away from the cops. Let's throw that in there. Everybody sees the right Bronco. Let it, like, oh my God, this is going, oh, they're heading here. They're here. They're at the state. They're at the arena. And they took away, as you said, Stone Cold's match from Savio, which actually was not a bad match. It was 10 minutes long, but that wasn't a bad match. Vega, a Puerto Rican legend, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, who becomes one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time in WWF. The next pillar of the WWF, we always talk about the four pillars, right? The four guys that lead the charge was Hogan, Austin, Cena, Reigns, however you want to put it. Those are those guys. So Austin's not in that stage yet, but it wasn't a bad match. I didn't really get to see the finish. Did he lock in the $1 Million Dream?
Yeah, he just choked him out.
Gotcha.
He just choked him out.
I thought that's what it was. I missed that part of the match towards the end, but I thought it wasn't a bad match. It was 10 minutes long. Like you said, it was overshadowed by the Roddy Piper Goldust contest because that was still going on in the background. But but wasn't bad. Again, Savio Vega, I know, he's the pride of Puerto Rico for a lot of wrestling fans down there, and obviously Austin. So it's really cool to see, because now you know where it's going. Because Stone Cold is, we don't know Stone Cold too much as the $1 Million, guy. We know him as Stone Cold Steve Austin, which we know we're going to get at WrestleMania 13. What's just cool about that match is, again, you're just seeing, you know what's coming. This is the future of the WWF right here. Mm-hmm. And the next one is the same way. Again, the past meets the present. Goldust and Piper, the past meets the present. Warrior versus Triple H, or Hunter Hearst Helmsley, past versus present. Hunter Helmsley comes out. He's with Sable. He's dun, 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 whatever music he comes out with. Warrior comes out. I mean, they really did him up. I mean, they gave him a champion's entrance. This is a legend. This is one of the former world champions. The whole, the whole face paint light up thing, the music, the fireworks. I mean, it looked like a grand slam. Like, this should be main event type of situation here, because you're making him look like a big deal. And he goes in the ring, and I'll tell you what, I don't hate it in regards to how it started. If I'm Hunter Hearst Helmsley, that's what I'm doing too. I'm not waiting for him to be done. I'm going to start at him real quick. And he does. He gets on him real quick. Early, Warrior's trying to figure it out. He's trying to take his jags, doing the, having a seizure in the ring, and they're going at it, and hits the pedigree with the infamous pedigree of Hunter Hearst Helmsley on Warrior, who does not sell it, not one hound, not one bit. I mean, he full on Will Ospreay's that motherfucker. He jumps right back up, and so Triple H is, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, for as young as he was in the game, and he's been in wrestling for a little bit at this point. He wrestled in the WCW, but he does a great job. Like, you could tell if you watch Hunter Hearst Helmsley, even at that young age, you could tell what he thinks of the business, how he feels about professional wrestling, how he sells, how he, he's going to the crowd. He doesn't act butthurt that this guy didn't no sell me. He sells the no sell. So he did a great job. Word gets the pinfall, 1, 2, 3. Not really much to talk about other than the intro, the no sell, and then the quick finish.
And a failed return, and nothing really came out of this. So
that's a true too.
Vince, again, everyone complains. This would be a match the IWC would throw a fit. Whoa, the Warrior came back and squashed Triple H. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's going to be a top star. He's a good wrestler. Why are we bringing these old stars back to guys? It was happening in 1996. It happened in 2006. It happened in 2016. It happened in 2020. It's always going to happen in professional wrestling because guess what? The biggest pop of the night was Warrior's entrance. People popped.
It's true. It's true. I'm glad you brought that up because that's the absolute fact. You know, because the IWC, right? We all know we're like, you know, oh, Triple H, right? Or the guy's the future. Why are we going to put him on a WrestleMania card? Why are we going to put Warrior there? Put someone else on there. Where's 1, 2, 3 Kid? Why is Razor Ramon on the bench? Blah, blah, blah. Why are we putting this guy on the spot? Just watch the beginning and the end. Like, I'm not the biggest Ultimate Warrior guy. Finn Sammy is. Finn Sammy of Finn's Talk Today, he's an Ultimate Warrior guy. But I wasn't, you know, especially in ring. But you cannot deny the crowd's love for him live. Like we talked about it. It goes with like Goldberg, right? Josh, you know, IWC, you know, Goldberg is like, oh my gosh, Goldberg. But there's no denying at a live event, Goldberg's music hits, that crowd's going to pop. It's the power of the pop. It's the power of the superstardom. That's what Ultimate Warrior was. It's the same thing. Watch the ending. When he beats Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the crowd pops again. So you're right. You know, but that's probably the argument for rather than against why some of the older guys still have spots on these cards because the fans, especially at home, still love them. Let's see here. IWC, a bunch of nutless man girls. Ooh, yeah, brother, I love it. Freaking little mama's boys. I'm just intro lasted longer than the match. It did. It did. Now we get to the 5th match on the card. Technically, because there was other matches, but they didn't show it. I didn't see it on Netflix. You had the Nacho Man versus the Huckster. That didn't show up on there.
I thought that was on the pre-show.
Was it? I thought it was on the regular show. I also think they showed it, but maybe it was the pre-show. Either way, because I was like, I know this match is on here, but they may have just cut it out, like they did the Piper one a little time back. Anyway, the Undertaker with Paul Bearer taking on Big Daddy Cool Diesel in about a 16 minute match. I'm going to tell you, at least for the first 12 WrestleManias, we, you know, from, I'm forgetting the Giant's name right now. Giant Gonzalez, King Kong Bundy, you know, Jason Snake was okay, but I think Diesel may have been up at this point Undertaker's best opponent. These two put on a really decent match for two big guys, and Taker was actually a lot more loose than he's usually been. He's not the same old stiff Taker. No, he's doing crazy stuff for a big guy. And I've got to give it to Diesel, Kevin Nash. He did really well with it too. I mean, and he worked with Taker. First off, the choke slam itself came off really well. I was like, I want to see how much airtime came, and I specifically made sure I want to look. And hey, you know what? Kevin Nash did one hell of a job going up for Taker. And then, of course, the tombstone right after. But this was a match, honestly, that I really enjoyed. I think up to this point, Josh, this was Undertaker's best WrestleMania match, best WrestleMania opponent. Like, if Diesel didn't leave after this WrestleMania, which I think this is the WrestleMania, this is his final WrestleMania. If he didn't, these two could have gone again and again, and it would have been a great story because they were so good. And, you know, I will say, though, you can't really, you know, the writing would have been on the wall if you're smart enough to know, and you're looking and you see him hit the jackknife powerbomb on Taker, and instead of pinning him, he's kind of like, this is what we're talking. This is the dead man. Like, yeah, give him all the time in the world, brother. Let him breathe. Go for the pin. What are you doing? He doesn't go for the pin. But of course, Taker gets up, and Nash is just like, okay, whatever. Like, you're starting to see Big Daddy Cool Diesel. You're starting to see Big Sexy Kevin Nash, and when he's kind of like mocking what the hell's going on in the ring. He brings that to the WCW. So that was neat. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how you feel about this match. I know how you feel a little bit about Diesel, but I think Diesel was Taker's best opponent up to this point. I think this was one of my better matches on the card, other than obviously the main event. I enjoyed this one, man.
Yeah, this was the only time so far to this point Undertaker has felt special.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Like, it finally felt the match was meaningful. It wasn't some old guy. It wasn't some jobber. It wasn't some just big, large guy. I mean, he was large, but Diesel was the champion. Diesel was a main eventer. There's a reason. There's a story behind it. Diesel cost Undertaker the championship at the Royal Rumble by interfering in the Bret versus Taker match. Like, things happened for us to get here. Diesel, you're right. He was playing cool even in the pre-match promo. "Oh, I'm not scared. I'm cool, man. Like nothing's gonna bug me. Then I'll come after you, Shawn." Like he's just so cool. And you're right. Taker hit a nice tombstone. Taker looked. He struggled. Like he was getting beat up. Taker was getting he was getting his ass handed to him, and he had to come up with a babyface return, which he did. And yeah, I loved it. But I'll say this. I'm glad Diesel's gone. I'm glad these other guys are gone. I'm glad that Scott Hall's gone. I'm glad we're gonna get into the Attitude Era coming up. Like I really am happy about this. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, because now we're going to know this is the Attitude Era stage. And yes, Adrian will be with us for WrestleMania 17 Rewind. I know he's been telling me about that. I got you, brother. Josh and I both are going to be are excited to get you on here to talk WrestleMania 17. So a lot of people's favorite WrestleMania. We're almost there. 5 more WrestleManias to go, or 4 more WrestleManias to go, and we'll get there. But yeah, again, you're right. This showed, I think, WWF audience and maybe the WWF front office that the Undertaker could do just more than being a stiff. I mean, he sold really well for Kevin Nash. He made it believable that he could lose, and he comes back and beats Kevin Nash. And then Kevin Nash, again, Diesel, probably showing, because McMahon didn't want to lose Diesel. I mean, he didn't really want to lose Razor Ramon, but it was up to that point. But with Diesel, he didn't want to, but Diesel was like, I'm going with Razor, I'm going with Scott, and whatever, we know what happens there. But the Undertaker, man, this was a great showing for Taker, man. And then just where we're going from here. Now we get the main event, the official main event, which is an hour long, an hour and 10 minutes, I think it really was. But Shawn Michaels taking on the world champion, Bret the Hitman Hart, in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the WWF Championship, brother. I'm going to let you take this one, man. Give me your thoughts on this contest. Tell me what you thought about it overall. There was no pinfall. It went basically to a draw until Gorilla came out, Gorilla Monsoon, and said, no, there has to be a winner. Shawn, of course, goes with the win. What are your thoughts on this contest?
So let me ask you before I go into it. How many 60-minute matches have you watched recently, in the recent time, in the past 10 years? 60-minute bangers, like draws. I've seen quite a few because AEW does them quite often.
I figured.
So I hate to say this. I'm going into this match going, oh man, it's Shawn and Bret. They're going to put on this massive banger.
There it is.
Nonstop. But hold on. I'm going to get there. But they just didn't, up to, like, if you put someone like a Will Ospreay and, let's say, not Kenny now, because Kenny Omega's too old to do this now, but let's say MJF and Ospreay, and they say, hey, you guys are going to do a 60-minute Iron Man match. We would get a match we would talk about for a day, because there's going to be flips, kicks, so many moves that Maria in the chat is going to go nuts for a day. But this match is timeless because the spots mattered. They went slow. They went headlocks. They went arm drags. They went wrestling for the first 20 minutes. It was so slow. But the story was Bret's going to out-wrestle Shawn. That was the story. And Shawn's trying, and Jerry the King Lawler was actually really good on commentary, saying, I'm surprised Shawn's matching this. I thought he was going to go his kung fu stuff, his off-the-wall kind of antics. Breaking down the match like a real commentator would. They knew this was 60 minutes, so they had to pace themselves. So they would do 10 minutes of holds in the beginning, and then a spot. Boom, back to a hold spot until around the 30-minute mark. Then it's like, okay, we only have 30 minutes to go. Now we're just going to go. And that's when things heated up. And it kind of made sense because this is the first ever Iron Man match. We've had many since, but this is the first one. So how would Shawn and Bret know how to even map this out for an hour? So it's unfair for us to go, well, Ospreay and MJF can go for an hour and they can go nonstop, and it's going to be flips, kick out. They've seen how many Iron matches mapped out before. This is the first one, which makes it even more impressive. This is still one of the most talked about ones. Don't like the overtime rule. I'll just say that. Don't like overtime. Don't like it. I wish they didn't do it, but it makes sense. I wish you would have just had Shawn win. No overtime. That's it. But hey, babyface versus babyface. They were heavily over going for Shawn. The boyhood dream. That's what this match was for. 10 out of 10. Like this it's kept my attention for an hour. I didn't look at my phone once, which is hard for me to do. Didn't look at my phone. I was interested in this match because when things happened, they happened. We didn't see the sharpshooter until about 59 minutes and 30 seconds into the match.
30 seconds left. There was 30 seconds left before we hit the sharpshooter.
That's incredible. If we would have got this today, we would have got a hidden blade by Ospreay within minute one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%. Yep. I'm glad you brought that up because when I got to this match, you know, we all know about Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. We know their history, but also we know their chemistry. So I was ready to go. I was like, okay, it's 60 minutes. Their job is to keep my attention for 60 minutes. And I'm going to be very honest with you. They did. I had no intention of them keeping I had no intention for them to keep my attention. Like you, right? My phone was there. I was there to do some other stuff, but I couldn't look. Yes, you know, if you go in there with the expectation that you're going to see an Ospreay, Moneyball, you know, Mike Bailey or MJF type of match, you might be disappointed. You might go, man, this is slow. And I get that because at first I was like, okay, they're going to go, this is going to be crazy. This is a crazy 60-minute match. No, they slowed the pace. They slowed it down. And you're right. They paced themselves, but they told the story in the ring. And I got to give Jerry the King credit for his commentary through the match, you know, bringing up like, you know, when they would break each other, you know, when they were down inside the ring and he's like, oh, 8 seconds. And all of a sudden Shawn would roll out and he goes, the hell is he doing? He's an idiot. It's like, yes, he is. Thank you. Bret did it. Bret's an idiot too. But in regards to the pace of the match, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And that's what they taught. That's what wrestlers do. Pace the match, tell a story. They told a story. And then, you're right, I think it was at 30, 40 minutes left. That's when it started to pick up the pace. And my goodness, like even at 40-minute, 30-minute match in that style and that pace, there's no flippity flips. There's no Circus Olay. This is hard hitting, technical shit. And I mean, my God, any one of those moves looked like they hurt, but you know, they didn't even touch. And it was really good wrestling for the 40 minutes that was left within that contest. I'll tell you what though, too, for two guys that you could say are probably wrestling soulmates, right? Like John Cena and CM Punk or whatever they would call themselves. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I don't know what their relationship was at this point, Josh. You may know, because I know you do some research before the show, but sometimes it looked like they worked in spite of each other. Sometimes it didn't look like they really did like each other. I know at the end, after the match was finally over, there's a famous thing that happens there. But before we get to the end, I just want to, you know, the match itself held my attention for 60 minutes and a little more, you know, 40 minutes for sure. I mean, because I'm like, okay, you know, and what I love is I think Shawn probably went for his Sweet Chin Music. It was outside and he hit Tony Schimmel.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Yes.
You know, which was like, whoa, you know, like holy shit. But they didn't go for their finishers. They didn't. Instead of the sharpshooter, he went for the oh my goodness,
he hit the Boston Crab.
The Boston Crab. That's what I was saying. I didn't want to say Russell Jericho. It was the Boston Crab. He did the Boston Crab. He did the headlock. He did the crossface. I mean, there was all these little other moves they were doing, and they were going for like they were saving the best for last because guess what? It's supposed to mean something. The finisher is supposed to mean something. That's why we call them finishers. It finishes the contest. It's supposed to finish the contest. It's not supposed to, oh, right at the beginning, boom, boom, 1, 2, oh, he kicks out. Bullshit. What the hell are we doing? They saved it for last. So that way, with that 40, 30 seconds left, when Bret finally locked in the sharpshooter, it felt like it was over. Especially if you knew the ending to the story, you didn't care. If you're watching the first time, you're like, holy crap, there's 30, 40 seconds. He's gonna tap. Bret's gonna tap. Shawn's gonna tap. He didn't tap. The match is over. First off, if you left it that way, if let's say Shawn would have got unconscious and he left draw,
would have been just fine. It would have been sucked because there was no change. But it would have been fine because you held the last and Shawn never tapped and the match was over and Bret goes out and that's the finish. But we don't get that. Bret's leaving. Bret's smart. Bret grabs the belt, gets the hell out of there. He sees Gorilla. He's like, nope, he's leaving. And I'm with you. I hate the continuation thing, overtime. This is the Iron Man match. There's no overtime. We've gone 60 plus minutes. Nobody said that if there's no winner at the end, we keep going. This is whoever gets the most pinfalls. I'm still the champion. This is a draw. But this is also Vince McMahon's WWF, who's been for the last 12 WrestleManias done dumb shit. Either way, Bret comes in. I love the sell job of Bret. Bret is like, what are you talking about? Gets in the ring, tells the guy, ring the damn bell. Goes after Shawn. They go a little longer. Shawn hits the sweet chin music. Does it again. 1, 2, 3. Shawn wins the match. And is the new WWF champion. Bret's laid out in the ring. Shawn is trying to do his little pose in the ring to the boyhood dream has come true. You see him, Earl Hebner's trying to hand him the belt. He says something to Earl Hebner. And we find out later what he says to Earl Hebner. And basically he tells Earl Hebner is tell Bret Hart to get out of the ring. Get out of my ring. Get out of my shot. If you look, he's going to give him the belt. And Shawn says something to him. Earl comes back, takes the belt, goes. He looks like he's awkward. Earl Hebner's such an awkward guy. He goes to Bret, tells, and you see Bret's like this in the floor, and all of a sudden Bret kind of goes up and goes, like, are you serious right now? And Bret just gets up, doesn't know. Now he's no selling it. Bret rolls out. He's looking there. He's right. He stands right in the shot. Before he leaves, he stands up and walks right up into the shot, right in front of Shawn Michaels, as Michaels is on the floor like this. And gets out. Fan throws a Canadian flag and throws it right back the other way and leaves the ring. And Shawn finally does his pose and the boyhood dream. And the crowd's going crazy. And I mean, he is full of aura. Now he does. You can't lie about Shawn Michaels. He has all the aura, right? I mean, the lighting, the look and everything, the entrance. And it ends that way. A great match. A good finish, minus it going into overtime. But again, like I could cut the tension with a hot butter knife on butter. I mean, those two, I don't know if they didn't like each other at that point, but it didn't seem like it. And maybe it started on that night, especially at that point where he says, tell him to get the fuck out of the ring in front of his son and his dad. But either way, the right call, right? Shawn should go over in that match, and because it looked a lot better than Bret going over.
I didn't know that I didn't know that story. So it's funny you mentioned that because I'm sitting there watching the WrestleMania match today, and I see Shawn say something to Earl, and I see Earl go to the old dude, the trainer, whoever that dude was, right? I forgot his name. Sorry, I apologize. And then the trainer jumped out of the ring, and then Earl gave Shawn the belt back. I'm going, did Shawn just tell his trainer to get the F out of the ring? Because that's exactly what I saw. And I saw Bret just get up and walk out, like you mentioned. So I'm like, did Bret just get offended that Shawn told his trainer to get the F out of the ring? Because that's what it looked like to me. So that's, I kind of know. I guess
he was telling him tell Bret to get out of the ring.
But the trainer dude got told to get out of the ring too.
I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. He told his trainer.
I was like, dude, Shawn's the worst. And I hear these stories at this time frame of Shawn, and he's one of the worst humans in the world. And that's just what I hear. And it is like it doesn't make, I'll say that it doesn't make him winning the title like less happy for, like, I liked it still. It was still good. It was a great moment, great wrestling moment, but still, what a jerk.
Yeah,
what a jerk.
I think this was a time where that really sold Bret on being like, he's a jerk. I can't stand him. I did my job. I'm leaving. And I think Bret at that point didn't give a shit. Bret was doing his job. He was selling. He just got kicked in the face with his finish. He's staying there. Shawn, now Bret, what Bret should have done, which you see John Cena do, you see guys like that now, which I agree, could have rolled a couple times over in a corner of the ring and still sold it, or rolled himself out on the floor and still sold it. But he just laid dead in the ring. And I mean, again, he's still doing his job. The cameraman should, but Shawn should, that's still your buddy. I mean, that's still not your buddy, but that's still your work partner. Tell him to get out of my spot. It's like, and that's when you see Bret at that point. As soon as the referee says that, watch again. Bret looks up at the ref, and it's no sell job. And he stands right inside the shot. He stands right in front of the shot and walks out. So My goodness, things were getting spicy at the end of WrestleMania 12. And Adrian, I appreciate you. Adrian says he's watching these WrestleManias with us. He says we're doing a good job. I appreciate Adrian saying that. And Adrian, man, again, you're more than welcome. We know say WrestleMania 17, brother, but you're more than welcome to join us. We'd love to get your perspective on these as we do. Okay, so WrestleMania 12, 1 to 12. Where does this one fall for you?
This one, I enjoyed this one a lot because of the 60-minute Iron Man match. That put it over the top of a bunch of them. It's going to be in the top quarter. We're going 4th place. It's just above WrestleMania 4, the tournament. Right under WrestleMania 10, right? Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, that whole situation. WrestleMania 5 sits at 2, and then WrestleMania 8 is still number 1. So this one's good. I have this one top 4 overall of the WrestleManias of all time. I really like us getting into the Attitude Era a little bit early. I like Shawn and Bret. I like how there was a less celebrity aspect to WrestleMania this year. It still seemed low rent because of no Hogan. You know, you really, and I hate to admit this, but you really, really see the impact Hogan had when Hogan came out and selling out Silver Domes and Trump Plaza and all these big venues that look bigger. It just looked much bigger. And the fans were on their feet more and they cheered more. Where now they're just sitting. You watch fans during these matches and they're not paying attention. They're just laughing. They're just there to. It's a circus. They're not into it like they used to be. I know that's going to change soon, and they're going to get more into it as the war happens and WrestleMania. We'll get into the WrestleManias with the Monday Night Wars. But as of right now, it just seems like a circus. It just doesn't seem like a real place. You're missing the star power. You really are. I hate to admit it. You're missing Hogan.
You're missing, and I think I agree with you, and that's what I love about doing this, because you kind of see where the height, the fall, and the reheight. And I'll say this: yes, missing Hogan. I would say that you're missing a Hogan. You're missing a main attraction in these things. As great as Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels are, and the Undertaker. Right, even though the Taker's on the top of the card, as great as those guys are and were, they weren't Hulk Hogan or talent like Hogan in regards to bringing in those merchandise and everything. We're gonna get that because the guy who eventually takes that spot is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm looking forward to WrestleMania 13, obviously, but WrestleMania 14 and 15 and 16, like during the main years of Austin, to kind of see, okay, how much has changed with these WrestleManias. Does it feel bigger? Because we know 17 is one of the biggest. We know 18, which is the return of Hogan and The Rock. 19, those WrestleManias feel huge. Those 16 through 13 where Austin, or maybe 14, I think, not 13, but I think 13 is when Austin becomes really the Austin, because he has that match with Bret that's coming up. But 14 and on, that's when we're going to say, okay, did it feel like WrestleMania 1 through 8 or 1 through 9? Right, that because now that we've seen them all, we see the height, then we see the drop off. So I think, missing Hogan, sure, but missing a Hogan is the main thing for you. I'm down for anyone. Hey, that's awesome, brother. Hey, there you go. Maybe we'll figure that out for next week. Maybe.
Maybe there has to be, because should be off air. I'm not going to be here next week.
Oh, you son of a! No,
I'm not going to be here next week. Reasons.
All right.
I'll be in Disney.
Oh, Mickey Mouse. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. hey, brother, I just watched Night of Champions from Disney Plus. Right, part of the family. I'm just going to scout out Disney. You know,
there you go, bro.
I'm honestly, guys, to wrap this thing up, I am thinking about going to Beach Break this Wednesday in Clearwater Beach. I'm only about 30 minutes away from there. The tickets are $60. Kenny Omega versus MJF for the World Heavyweight Championship. I hope Kenny Omega loses, but I think he's going to win. And I kind of want to be there if that happens. So you might see me. If you see me, sickos, leave me alone. I'm there for the show. I might
no autos, no selfies. I'm not interested.
No selfies. No, don't look me in the eye. Look away. Don't recognize me. But no, you might see me in Clearwater Beach, brother, at Beach Break with all you sickos. So wanted to throw that out there.
There you go.
I will say too, let's see, Taker versus Nash was the best match of the night. There you go, Maria. I like that. And, I'll tell you again, I was pleasantly surprised with how good that match was. So I think you're on point. I think you could say that if you believe it. And Adrian, maybe Adrian, if we don't, I would love to do WrestleMania 13 with Josh. Maybe we'll figure it out. But either way, Adrian, if not, then maybe you can join us, or me and you could do it. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I'll reach out once I talk to Josh a little more here. Justin Toner in the house. What's up, Justin? Great to see you, my man. Maria says Kenny Omega is winning the championship. If he loses, he can no longer challenge for the title. Is that the stipulation, if I remember?
That's the stipulation, just like Cody, just like Hanger.
Cody, Jesus Christ, Cody.
They brought Cody up, yeah. They brought him up on television, yeah.
Did they really? Okay. So I'm always down to join Mania Rewind if I'm there. Justin Toner too. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh man, we're gonna have a fatal 4-way up in here. But talking about AEW, I just want to say, I said this yesterday on Nitro Rewind. I sent Josh a text because I was proud of myself. I knew it was late, but the old man was up. He texted back right away. But I texted him and I'm like, I'm actually watching Forbidden Door. I had it on. I watched most of Forbidden Door. I don't, John Moxley and was it Omega versus oh my gosh, who's that blonde dude he was fighting?
Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Sabre, yeah, I saw that. I saw Moxley match. I enjoyed. The kids watched that. And I'll tell you, I'll give it to do. I didn't get to see the first half of it. Saw the second to the end of it. The second half to the end of it was the main event, which is the cage. Basically, it felt like a War Games Hell in the Cell type of thing there they had going on. Team MJF taking on Team Briscoe, and Andrade betrayed MJF. But it was entertaining. Good little spots here and there. So, yeah, I'm proud of myself. I watched a little bit of AEW. I was like, all right. I saw Ospreay. I went, I turned it off. I went, no, I'm good. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, Josh, you might go, oh, ain't that sweet? Bendito. Ay, bendito. Very nice. Anyway, go ahead, Josh.
I just want to say, yeah, AEW is heating up. Check me out every single Friday. I was live this Friday. Yesterday at noon, I talked about how this was the best Dynamite show on July 1st. I have seen in over 2 years. Dynamite was spectacular this week. No, I don't just go on every Friday and trash Dynamite. I give you what I really think about it, and I thought this show was phenomenal. So if you want to see more Dynamite talk, Friday afternoon on the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel only, exclusively there, nowhere else but the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel, every single Friday at noon. And I saw you went live at 2. I saw you had a show scheduled.
I did. Yes, that's right. So first off, for the No Holds Barred Wrestling, there's over 120 people watching live on all platforms. We appreciate you guys joining us. For those watching now and watching afterwards, this is WrestleMania Rewind. We've done WrestleMania 12. Again, we have the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel where you get this show right here, a No Holds Barred Wrestling podcast. You catch FTSN and the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel. So subscribe. But if you want to see our other wrestling content, we got some great stuff brewing back there for that channel. Check out especially Dynamite Rewind on Fridays, and of course the Nitro Rewind right now. And that was with me and my brother Nick. We usually want to try to do that on Mondays, but Nick, whenever he's available, or I can just do it by myself. But check those out; those are exclusive to the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel. We got a new channel intro, which is really cool. Shout out to Finn's Post Productions if you have not seen that yet. It gets you hyped. It makes me want to do more wrestling content, and just make sure you go check that out. Should Cody win back the WWE Championship? Maria, I'm on a high, and you're going to try to bring me down low. No. Should he? I think I enjoy Josh more than anyone. Adrian, oh, look at that. Should Cody win back the WWE Championship?
No.
No, he should not. But anyway, we may do a show on that, but no, I don't. I hope not. I don't think CM Punk and Cody need a title match. I think Cody should stay as far away from the title for now. Not taking anything away from Cody, but
no,
don't go back.
I got it booked, guys. I know we should do it. That should be a short.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I'll give you the skinny. CM Punk's winning Money in the Bank in October. And Cody is somehow going to win the title back, and it's going to be CM Punk versus Cody. CM Punk's cashing in the title. It's going to be CM Punk versus Cody at WrestleMania for the title because he has Money in the Bank. Because what he say? You never know when an opportunity is going to fall from the sky. What's in the sky? Money in the Bank. It's going to happen, people. It's going to be Cody and CM Punk. And this is just a small little. This is people compare it to Darby. No, it's not Darby. this is a real story, and Sammy's going to get a run up until the Royal Rumble. That's probably when Cody's going to take it back.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, that's Josh Kimmel. I'm Bobby Meléndez. Guys, do not forget to hit elbow drop that like and subscribe button here on FTSN, the Finstock Sports Network, and of course the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel, which you could catch the No Holds Barred Wrestling podcast, Real Talk Wrestling as well on Thursday nights, Dynamite Rewind, Nitro Rewind, and all the great professional wrestling content here on the No Holds Barred Wrestling channel and FTSN. We appreciate you all tuning in. Like and subscribe, and happy 4th of July. Yeah, dig it, brother.